Most of us on the keto diet get into this rut of eating the same thing, a protein and a vegetable like beef and broccoli or chicken and zucchini. It gets old fast, but I have a simple formula I like to use to getting unique keto dinners on the table in just 5 minutes. And this isn't just meal prepping or eating the same thing every night. You can get out of this dinner rut by following my 3-step solution. Instead of just a protein and a vegetable, we're gonna add one extra component, a sauce. Adding an easy sauce to a quick cooking protein or vegetable is the best way to transform any meal. So let's get to cooking so I can share with you 3 variations of this process so you can get dinner on the table fast and with little effort. Now let me preface this by saying that you actually don't have to meal prep at all. Each of these recipes that I'm gonna share with you really only take around 20 minutes to make from start to finish. Obviously, if you meal prep, if you take at least an hour 1 day a week to make up each of these components separately, then they should only take around 5 minutes to assemble once it's time to have dinner. I like to decide between 1 or 2 proteins for the week. For simplicity, I'm just grilling up some chicken thighs, but you can get more out of these sauces and make more meals if you do make up some salmon or maybe some ground beef, and then you can interchange the sauces with the meat and the vegetables. Because these sauces can pair with just about any protein. During your meal prep hour, you can prep up your vegetables and even make these sauces ahead of time because they're gonna keep up in the fridge for around 5 days. First up, we're making keto chicken pesto with noodles. This pesto sauce is one of the simplest you can make, and you don't have to mess with slowly drizzling in olive oil just to create this partial emulsion. This method gives you the creamiest, tastiest pesto sauce with little effort. In a food processor, add 2 cups of basil leaves, 1 tablespoon of pine nuts, a clove of garlic, a 1/4 cup of olive oil, a 1/3 cup of water, a teaspoon of lemon zest, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then what sets this recipe apart is that we use an avocado to help make it a creamy pesto sauce. You're gonna add in 1/2 of an avocado. Then pulse until the mixture is creamy. This makes the perfect sauce to add to zucchini noodles, so you can prep them up ahead of time by spiralizing your noodles and then just quickly toss them in a pan with some olive oil and seasoning. To assemble, layer down your pesto sauce, add in zoodles, and top with grilled chicken. And this pesto sauce only adds 1 gram of net carbs, so it's a great way to add extra flavor without adding a bunch of unnecessary carbs. Traditional mole sauce can take several hours to cook and develop those flavors, but we're not gonna do that because this isn't an authentic or a traditional mole sauce. This is the way that I make keto mole, and it's super simple, comes together in 5 minutes, and lots of flavor too. Start by adding 2 tablespoons of avocado oil to a skillet over medium heat. And then we're gonna add in 3 cloves of minced garlic, a tablespoon of chili powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then let these flavors bloom and cook for around 30 seconds. Once you start to smell that aroma of the seasoning, you know it's time to move on. And we're gonna add in 1/2 cup of tomato sauce, a 1/2 cup of chicken broth, 2 tablespoons of adobo sauce. And this is optional if you like heat. And I'm only adding in the sauce. I'm not adding in the chilies, but you could certainly do that if you wanted. 1 tablespoon of almond butter. And I like to add chocolate into my mole. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar-free dark chocolate chips. Then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Reduce the heat and then continue to stir it and let it cook for around 3 minutes. And now your sauce is done. To go along with my mole sauce, I'm gonna make up a simple Mexican slaw. And first we're gonna start with that dressing that can be made ahead of time. So add a 1/4 cup of avocado oil to a small bowl, and then a 1/2 of a jalapeno that you've sliced up. Make sure you keep the ribs and the seeds because we want that flavor of the jalapeno to infuse into our oil. Then add 1 clove of minced garlic, the juice and the zest from 1 lime, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna whisk this together and let it sit for around 15 to 30 minutes at least. Longer the better, more of that jalapeno flavor will get infused into the oil. And then we're gonna start making our slaw. I'm just using a bag of coleslaw mix, but you could slice up green or red cabbage here. And then I'm gonna add in some sliced red onion and about a cup of chopped cilantro. Then we add on our dressing, and I'm going to be removing these jalapenos because I feel like enough of the flavor has been infused into that oil. You can certainly leave them, but I'm not that adventurous. I don't really care to breathe fire or just destroy some of my taste buds for a period of time, so I'm taking them out. After a quick toss, we can now assemble our mole plate with a layer of the keto mole sauce, our Mexican slaw, and then the grilled chicken. This mole sauce is also excellent over some cauliflower rice or mixed in with some ground beef. Next, I'm going to show you how to make a keto Alfredo sauce that is so simple to make and so flavorful. We don't even have to add cream cheese like some other recipes do, and it's only 5 ingredients that you need. Start by melting 2 tablespoons of butter into a skillet over medium-high heat. And then you're going to stir in 2 cloves of minced garlic. And then for a little flavor boost, I like to add a little pinch of nutmeg, but not necessary. Then let this cook until the garlic is fragrant. Meanwhile, you want to whisk together 1 egg and then a 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. And this is what's going to make our emulsion and help our sauce thicken. So don't substitute, just use the egg and the heavy whipping cream because it works the best. Then slowly pour this over your garlic butter mixture and reduce the heat to medium-low and keep stirring and whisking. And I recommend a flat whisk like this one. I'll have it linked down below where I got it, but it is great for whisking roux or if you're making gravies, sauces that need to be thickened. It just is flat so it easily whisks it up. You want to continue stirring and heating this mixture until it starts to thicken and it will coat the back of a spoon, but don't let it boil at all because we don't want anything to curdle or our emulsion to separate. This will take several minutes too, around 5 to 10 minutes. It depends on your skillet that you're using and your heat source if you have electric or gas heat. Once it's ready, turn the heat to low, season with salt and pepper, and then add your noodles and a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. And I'm using these noodles. These are healthy noodles. A bunch of you guys recommended them. You can get them from Costco. They are gluten-free and they're made from konjac plant and soybeans. So if you're soy-free, then these aren't noodles for you. You'd probably just have to use shirataki noodles, zucchini noodles, or hearts of palm noodle. But I actually really like these noodles. They don't have a rubbery texture, they have a neutral taste, and they actually look like fettuccine, so they're perfect for our Alfredo sauce. I'm serving this keto Alfredo with some steamed broccoli and of course my grilled chicken. And this sauce adds around 1.6 grams of net carbs to your meal, and it is so good. I just want to have it all the time. It's one of my favorites so far. If you find yourself struggling with trying to make healthy keto meals in a quick amount of time, and that's what's keeping you from being consistent on the keto diet, I have a collection of keto meals that you can make in just 1 minute. Click right here to watch.